Welcome back to another beautiful day on the farm. Today we are framing some walls, so let's get right into it.
Camera.
Oh, Jack, I'm here, man.
All right.
How about that, guys? We got some pink stuff here, guys. Today we're going to put down the seal plate. And then underneath the seal plate, we're going to put down a seal gasket to keep any air from coming in the bottom of the seal plate. Once we get this down, oh, by the way, I love these. Hang on for a second, guys. These are the old redhead anchor bolts. A lot of people will take and put a bolt up into the concrete. I don't do that. Again, I have a limited amount of experience. Although I'm a general contractor, I'm usually not in the field building. I'm basically instructing people. But that being said, I like these. What we'll do is we'll drill the board, put a countersink in it, then we'll drill the concrete. That way you're not over here trying to guess, trying to make a mark on your board, trying to drill it out, then put it down. This is a lot easier. It may take a little longer, but you get a very, very neat finished look when we're done. So we're gonna do this. When we're done, we'll take a good look at it and see what you think compared to maybe other methodologies. Talk to you later, guys.
So again, what you can see here is we are putting down the seal plate gasket. And I mean, you can pick this up pretty much anywhere from Home Depot to really any builder store. And it really goes down pretty fast. And one of the key features of it is, it really saves a lot of energy. It can eliminate drafts, and it really reduces the heating or cooling loss. And it's such a small thing to do in order to get such a big benefit. And the next thing that you're going to see us do is we're going to take an impact driver with a wood bit, usually about a 1-inch wood bit, and we're just going to countersink these anchor bolts. And the reason why we do that is so when we start framing and adding, the bottom plates and lifting the walls onto it, these anchor bolts aren't getting in the way of the framing. After that, we take our hammer drill with a concrete bit on it, and we're just going to drill down into the concrete so we can hit the anchor bolt in and then tighten it with the ratchet. And just know that we aren't just drilling into cinder blocks. We've actually filled all the cinder blocks all the way to the top with mortar, so it's super tight. And just after a few cranks, there is no way that you can pull this board up.
Okay, we got the seal plate down. As you can see, all the anchor bolts are in place. Counters sunk to stay out of the way of humans and our framing. Now what I'm going to do, or what I've done, and this is the last one, is I'm toenailing where the boards meet. I know people are saying, well, you got a freaking anchor bolt, and you're right, I do. But what I want to do is take a toenail and drive on this side this way, and then on this side this way, and that way that'll make sure the boards won't bow up at all. The other thing about toenailing, come on in close with this camera. A lot of people struggle toenailing into a board. If you'll take your nail, and these are galvanized nails, as you can see, go back 1 inch, hit it to get it started, lean it in. There's a little bit, lean it more than a 45 so you can grab a lot of that meat. Then when you get to the end, sink her down. Switch over here, Jack, we'll do this side. Again, go back 1 inch, tap it, then bend your nail. Don't try to go at it like this. It's hard to get the nail to get started. So tap it, bend it over, more than 45. There you go. That's it. We're going to start our framing shortly. We'll video some of that. And if there are any tips along the way that I can give, I will. And if you guys see something that you can give me a tip, feel free to do so. I love input. When I start framing, the first thing I do for the day, some people do it for the entire house. I at least do it for the day, and some people do it as they get to it. I like to go ahead and put together the corners, the tees, and all the headers that you know the sizes for. Today we've got a header we know the size for, we know how many corners we need, and we know how many tees we need. So we're going to go ahead and pre-build the tees, the corners, and the headers, so that when we get ready to put it together, when we're framing, it'll all slide into place and it'll make things a lot faster. So we don't have to stop, build a header, stop, build a tee, stop, build a corner. So we're gonna do that now. I think Jack will video some of that, and then we'll get back to framing. Talk to you later. couple tips before lifting the wall. Jack and I put this wall up earlier, and frankly, I didn't think just two of us could lift it, and amazingly, we lifted it right up, and we weren't really prepared. So now we went ahead and prepped everything because I know we can lift this wall. Go ahead and get your brace up, get it driven into the ground, get it up about the right height. So once we lift it, we'll take the level, we'll plumb the wall, we'll brace it. Then while Jack remains holding it, I'll go ahead and get the backside braced up, and we'll get that plumbed, and we'll be done. It'll set up really quick. The other thing we do, come on over here, Jack. The other thing we do is we put these on the backside so when we push the wall up, it doesn't slide out behind us. When you're doing a wall that's flat on a deck, you can drive a toenail the wall, and as you lift it, the toenail will come out, but the wall won't slide out. But in this situation, since we're not on a flat deck, we have to put these braces back here to keep it from going off the backside. So we'll put this one up. Jack, you want to try to video this one as we do it?
So as you can see, these walls are pretty heavy, and it's just the two of us. So what we'd like to do is just put it up on the center blocks, put a block under it, then lift it up, and it made it a lot easier. Now, after getting a few walls up, things took an unexpected twist. Just check it out. So you can see here we're sheathing the wall, and I have a really bad shoulder, and I just point right here, and my whole shoulder dislocates. Mr. Dobbins then takes it from there.
Okay guys, hang on here. I don't know if you noticed a little while ago, I'm bending down. Jack, he was getting ready to go work on another wall, and he dislocated his shoulder. You may not have noticed it because he's had this problem 2 or 3 times and it dislocates pretty easily. I've got my daughter coming over to see if we can't get it back into its socket. She's been able to accomplish this before, so she's on the 4-wheeler. I can hear it in the background. She's heading this way. Let's see if we can't get Jack fixed back up, and if not, we'll be in the emergency room here in a little bit. Also, you may have noticed a green can down by his waist. I've given him a little bit of a sedative to help him relax a little bit. Maybe it'll help get back into location. His shoulder will get back into the right location. So here we go. We got a couple of experts coming.
And then you're just going to keep on moving it back behind your head as if scratching the back of your neck. You got it, baby.
I can push it all the way in one whole thing.
Okay, now act like you're going to scratch the back of your neck. So take his arm.
Okay guys, I'm gonna have to stop video, and we gotta go get him to the emergency room. Talk to you later.
So we tried getting it back in, but we couldn't, but the emergency room got it back in, and we're back to work the next day.
Oh, she is heavy.
So I was down for the count. As you can see, I'm in the sling there. And so we brought in some reinforcements. This is Mr. Dobbins' friend, Ray. And we were really able to knock these walls out pretty fast. Again, we would frame them on the ground, sheathe them, then just go ahead and lift them up. I know a lot of people like to sheathe the walls after they've already been set in place, but it just made it a lot easier for us to go ahead and sheathe it while it was on the ground. Now for the sheathing, we just went with 7/16 OSB. I wish we could have done zip system, but at the time it was just so expensive. Now another person that you're going to see helping out is a guy in a brim hat, a straw brim hat. That is Mr. Dobbins' father. He is 84 years old, and he came out to help us lift the walls. It's just amazing to see someone in that good of shape for that age. So one other thing that really made framing a whole lot easier was having the concrete poured. So we weren't just framing on rocks or on dirt. It really gave us a level surface, and it made it a lot easier to frame. Now the downside of this is that, man, we scratched up this concrete really bad. Now this is the final wall that we lifted, and as you can see, it has a big opening, and that is for the garage door. Note that we are going to go back and we are going to put an LVL in there, but if we put that LVL in before we lifted it, it would have just been too heavy to lift.
Okay guys, we just finished the framing of the walls, and if you'll pan around, you'll see the windows. Come over here, you'll see the windows. We have not cut those out since it's going to be, what, 3 weeks before we get the windows. We'll leave the plywood OSB up, and that way it'll keep the water out of the building. But we'll start this afternoon. We'll tighten down the framing, the walls. Then we're going to start with the gable ends. We're going to sheathe those and build the fly rafters and on both of the gable ends, and try to maybe even lift one today if at all possible. But if we can't, with Jack and I by ourselves, it could be difficult. We'll probably get someone to help us in a few days to get these up and nailed down. We also have, if you look right up here above the 16-foot door opening, we've got a couple of LVLs that'll go there, and we'll take care of that this afternoon. We'll use the compact loader with the boom pole extension and get that up there. So talk to you guys later. We just finished putting up the LVL over the 16-footer. That was an 18-foot LVL. We cut it down to 207 inches. We used the compact to raise up the LVLs, and we did them one at a time, and then we nailed them together once they were up there. A lot better than straining Jack only has one arm, right, Jack?
Exactly.
So we had to use some equipment to help us get it up there. Normally we'd try to muscle it, but this was much easier. And from now on, I think I'll do all my LVLs this way. So we got it done. It's now in there. It's solid. We'll start tightening up the wall, and then we're going to start working on some of the gable end trusses so we can get those nailed together and start putting those up tomorrow. See you later. This morning we're finishing up the top plate, and this helps line up the wall. And then we'll start putting the trusses up. And of course, we'll run line and string and everything when we put the trusses up to make sure the walls are completely plumb. But this lines up the wall and gives something for the trusses to set on, gives it strength on the wall also. So we'll finish this up and start sheathing the gable end.
So that is it for today. Again, we got all the walls lifted, which took way longer than we thought. But hey, it's done. And next up, we're going to start putting the trusses on. So see you guys next time.